Hello and welcome to Garbler Games. Tonight we have episode 5 of Feudal Stars, our mega meta traveler game. I think there's going to be a bit of boarding action tonight. I'm Pete and I'm the referee.
Hello, good evening. I'm Ben. I have run here from the other game I was in mere moments ago in the Forbidden Reaches. But here I am now in space, ready to kick him in the space pants with my elite hacker, Kona Carl. Post-human, transhuman, good with computers.
Hi, I'm Roger. I am playing Captain George Anson, the retired naval captain, and I am ready to hide behind the big, angry, strong people who will kick bad people in the knackers while I hide heroically.
I am Jeff. I am one of the big people, but not angry, as I'm playing Marquis, etc. He has many names. He is a charming jet setter. He has wonderful pectoral definition and a fine taste for Bloody Marys.
I'm Simon. I'm playing the Dread Pirate Roberts today. What other people don't know is that I will be the last person to get on the shuttle. And as the door closes, I shall hang the Jolly Roger out. So it just traps in the door at the right moment.
Hi all, I'm Dan and I'm playing Montgomery Jackson, all-round serious badass, or at least he likes to think he's a badass. We'll find out maybe soon enough if he is one. But also head of security for our little crew, I think. But yes, here I am.
Cool. Excellent. And thank you to Millie, our producer in the background, who you can't see, but is ever present in Traveller, the wonderful intro videos. So yes, tonight we have episode 5 of Feudal Stars, our mega meta traveler game with too many players and a world built by patrons. Thank you to our lovely patrons who have been helping us with our continued world building and faction turns on our Discord server, adding flavor and spice to the background as we go. And
Spice is Minervan Sacred Republic only.
Oh yes, sorry. And yeah, it's been an awesome process there on our Discord server with our patrons. So thank you guys for joining in the world building. Last time on Traveller, we had the second of 2 parallel episodes, which culminated with a terrorist attack on the Traveller Aid Society lounge at the top of High Nexus, the space station above Tothan, one of the main space station above Tothan. And most of our crew here had been at the party, but were on their way back to the ship when this happened. And you had been chatting to an Erodan gentleman who had been talking to you about man-portable fusion weapons and other such things. And Kona had been doing some nefarious activities.
There was nothing nefarious. I did nothing illegal.
Absolutely.
Everything was completely above board. No statutes or rules were violated in any way.
But you did go to Cheriton 3, one of the independent trading points in a higher orbit of Tothan, with Karen and the rest of the other crew, the dodgy crew, if I remember, Frankie, Plim, and my brain. There's too many players in this game. You went up there and you did a bit of a deal, and you've agreed on behalf of the whole crew to take a grav-powered container with you and transport it to the Galetti system. And you were offered a large sum of money to do that, but it is quite far away. So you would expect someone to pay you quite a bit of money to go sort of, I think it's 9 parsecs, which is, 5 jumps for you probably.
6 double jumps or 12 single jumps.
Well, there you go.
That's going the quick way.
And the 2 crews arrive roughly the same time back to the ship, as a general message has been sent out by Protector Services saying that terrorists from Gurzil have launched an attack on the Traveller Aid Society lounge, attacking the diplomatic envoys from the 4 groups, the Sudenican, Ogun Republic, the Minervan Sacred Realm, and the Ukarite Combine, and that all ships, all non-Tothan civilians, ship members, etc., should return to their ships while the matter is being investigated. And there are a number of your crew, including Octavius, who was injured in the blast, in the medical center. And there has been a statement that at least 4 people died in the blast. So you have all arrived back on your ship, and the Pride of Sigyn, which was the Sudenican ship, is heading out, and they've asked Captain Anson to take his ship's boat out to visit the ship that had appeared on the edge of the system with low power, no maneuvering drive, and no communications, and investigate what was going on there. Their high thrust ship's boat could get there first, and being an independent team, they would be able to appear neutral in all things and constantly send information back to the Pride of Sigyn. So you guys are kind of loading up the other ship's boat as the first ship's boat comes back. And Kona, you get off the ship's boat and you see that they are loading everything up, getting it all ready. And Karen and Frankie and the others start to bring this container kind of in like cargo, take it further into the ship.
Right, handle with extreme care. Do not break that. Don't hack it. Don't touch it. Don't do anything to it. We're going to have to take a look at it later. Just store it somewhere. Say, Karen, sorry.
Karen looks at you like,
your cargo more than
you don't
mine.
need to tell me that.
Gets stored with the absolute best of care. It's going to need moving. In fact, you know what? Leave it on the ship's boat. Leave it on the ship's boat.
She's taking it off. She's taking it off, and she's like waving at you. She's got some documents somewhere that she needs to go and refer to.
Just kind of quirk an eyebrow at this, but shrug.
Captain, great to see you. Big update. What's going on here?
Oh, right. So, did you know the ship that appeared as we were on our way into station?
The Drifter.
Yes. We are going in first before the diplomatic team. We are going to go and have a look, see what's up, hopefully find something valuable that might, or might not find anything on there valuable at all. Go see what's what, report our mostly findings back. And we're going to go do that while we wait for our new vessel to make dock.
You need me, or do I go and hack the box?
I would rather you came with us, because we might need you to access the ship's computers.
Okay.
I'm not bad with a computer, but you're good at getting in. I'm sure. Looks like Karen seems to be looking after the box. I'll say with a quizzical look.
It's to do with the shopping list that you gave me. I found a supplier, single source.
Don't worry. Fill me in on the way.
Yeah, I will do. Get my vac suit off the ship's boat we've just been on, put it on the other ship's boat.
But we don't know what's going on that ship, so gear up. Remember, we've got the shotguns and boarding shields if you need them in the lockup.
They'll be on the new ship, right?
They're being transferred to the new ship when the new ship docks.
And have we waited
Is that
for the
stuff you've bought prior?
Yes.
That was from Micklin, wasn't it?
That was from Micklin.
Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of assault combat shotguns
and some
with gyro
boarding shields,
stabilizers.
Yeah. So I might take one of those, but I've got no use for a boarding shield.
That's fine. It's just something to hide behind when we're boarding. But Monty and the Marquis will be leading the way. They're the biggest, toughest guys we've got.
I was gonna go behind Monty, actually.
Well, this is Monty's radio. He's the one that's going to make sure the ship's clean when we get there. We'll do the investigating once on board.
In the background, you just see Monty polishing guns and bits of armor, and his helmet's closed. He looks like he's in his zone right now.
Yeah, we better bring the pirate as well. He seems to know his way around the ship. He could prove useful.
Someone's got to fly.
I can fly.
So can I, but it's much more
Yeah,
comfortable when
spread
someone
the
else
wealth.
does it. Don't worry, Marquis. There's a bar.
Okay.
And a butler,
Yeah.
apparently.
All right.
We're taking the good ship's boat.
So I'm
Okay.
assuming we've only got one, haven't we? Have we got one?
We've got 2 currently,
We had 2,
but we will
yeah.
have one.
Yeah.
One of them is getting traded in for our new vessel.
The assault combat shotguns in a different book to the core book.
Probably. I looked them up in the central supply catalogue.
Okay.
I have the stats saved on mine if you need it.
Yeah, when we get to it.
Okay, so you're all getting on board the ship's boat. You're all getting whatever equipment you need, and clambering in. And Jacob Parsons is holding the door for you all as you all clamber in, and you see that he.
With cheering words.
Oh yeah. Anything special you're doing as the ship's about to leave, Dread Pirate Roberts?
I will quickly from my sleeve pull out a Jolly Roger and jam it, wedge it in the door so it's fluttering outside and no one else knows.
Okay. So great, good stuff. So you seal the airlock and you'll climb in to your ship. I think I made a mistake on the overlay, but anyway. I think Millie's trying to correct it right now. Sorry. So the ship heads out and you start heading towards the Sudenican vessel on the edge of the system, getting up to high thrust, up to 5G acceleration. So you're chipping it out there to the edge of the system. And quite quickly, you're leaving behind the Pride of Sigyn, which can muster a mere sort of 2G. It's not really thrusting as hard as you guys are. And so you're heading out, and it's going to take you about a day. Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, Dan. Don't laugh at thrusting. They're not thrusting as hard as you, Dan. So you've got a day while you are heading out of system. And what are you all going to be doing for that day?
Well, first things first, once we set off, cocktails.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so you go into your lounge area on the shuttle, on your ship's boat, and it's luxuriant, opulent almost for such a vessel. There are fine chairs. They're well upholstered kind of starship chairs. There is a bar to one side with the kind of, the old little banisters around where the drinks are kept, like on an old sailing ship, and that kind of thing. So it all looks really cool. And there's a little robot.
This is better than the lounge on the science ship?
Yes, that's why I spent so much time in here.
I like to think that when the Marquis was getting on, he was pushing like a little wheeled cart that just had all of his good stock of liquor, just because he doesn't go anywhere without it. And so when we get into that, he's just putting it into place now, unloading the cart with the good stuff.
I imagine the Marquis' backpack is just loaded up. Like I almost imagine it's like one of those scientific cabinets that opens up. It's not a backpack; it just and it's like little spirits and stuff. Yeah, it's like a mini bar opens out. The Marquis can do a bar anywhere.
A little tray of olives and stuff, And the little robot comes over and its little arm starts to scan what you're putting away. So it's aware of the new inventory, so it can prepare drinks for people. It's a little bartender robot. There's a little more than kind of a cylinder with a kind of tray shelf on the top, which has got a non-slip surface on it, and then a series of arms, quite thin ones, that come out to take bottles, mix drinks, and all those kinds of things.
Put in the umbrellas.
Exactly. So there's a lot of drink mixing, and the Marquis and Captain Anson kind of lounging around, sipping on Bloody Marys and martinis, I assume.
Does this thing know how to make a Dakshan a fireball?
Sure, why not?
Excellent.
I will contact the you know what the word is.
Sudenicant.
That's the one. And try and get a schematic of the vessel we're going to go and investigate. So we can work out the best point of breach, and we can work out the quickest way of getting to where we want to be.
Sure. Bear with me a moment.
And if there's any kind of codes that might be useful for basic access. Not as in, give me some code so I can hack a computer. I mean, as in, like,
Door codes.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're informed that it doesn't really have that kind of.
Ask for names of crew as well.
Yeah, but
crew roster.
Yeah.
I'm just figuring out how to
logs if you can get them.
So it's
Even
a standard far trader vessel,
right,
which has 2 points of entry, standard airlock, one on the top deck, which is really a kind of passenger level with 7 staterooms and a lounge area. Then on the lower floor, you have the bridge at the front, a crew space behind that next to the office, and a few staterooms there as well. And then there is a large central area for cargo. And at the back, you've got your low berths, your engineering section, and then at the very back, the engine itself with all of the, thruster pods and all those kinds of things. There's 2 big fuel pods, one either side. And it's a pretty straightforward. It's the ship off the front of the traveler book. So there's an airlock, a person airlock on the top floor, there's a person airlock on the bottom floor, near the front. They're both on the starboard side of the vessel. There is a cargo bay, door on either side of this big cargo bay that goes through the middle of the ship. Those are generally much more secure when in flight, because they're, triply secured so that your cargo can't get out. So they're actually harder to access when the ship is flying than a small airlock, because a small airlock has a redundancy often behind it of another door.
So I'll do I'll get on my piloting computer and run some simulations of different ways in which I can, come in really fast and break and be all snazzy and stuff, pirate.
Okay. So you're going to be trying to maybe watch some videos of Frankie flying your
I saw how good he was. I'm not having this. I'm only
that video's already hit like Toth Tube.
I'm going to be trailing smoke when I come in.
Not for a good reason. Cool. Yeah. So you start to do that. That's cool. And these are fairly standard ships. They're known, the Galaxy Wide, the Far Trader and the Free Trader are 2 kind of very like the Triangular Courier and your Donut Lab ship. They're all fairly familiar vessels. So Monty, what are you doing?
I mean, Monty's probably the only one that's being like super serious right now. So he's going to be sitting in the corner. You've seen him cleaning all his guns and that. He now looks like he's meditating with incense. It looks deep in meditation, like he's preparing himself for something bad.
Okay. I like it.
But other than that, just in the zone.
So is Monty relatively? I suppose, given how big it is, we can probably see you doing this.
Oh, most definitely. I'm in
full all in the same
boarding armor.
Yeah. And you're all in the same compartment. Remember, a ship's boat is not big. There's like a 30 by 40 chamber you can all sit in, or the cockpit, and then there's a cargo bit at the back with like a tiny engine room at the very back. So there's not, much space, so you could meditate, psych yourself up in the cargo bay if you wanted, but the airlock is
no, because
where you are.
as a soldier, you've got to be able to block out all those distractions. So those two drinking and making noise, I've got to be able to block it out. I've got to be able to be in my zone. So Monty's just sitting there in full boarding vac armor on the ground, sort of the classic meditation pose, which would look really awkward in armor.
You
and
could
he's
just turn off the audio feeds, given that you can close the helmet.
Yeah, you're right. I can't close the helmet. I want them to see my very serious look on my face.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Right,
Yeah, so
Captain,
it serves a
an
purpose for other
update for you.
Yeah, grab yourself a cocktail. May as well make this civilized.
Naturally. Right. So, as we agreed, when we hit the station, I went and started taking a look around for brokers, traders, dealers that would be able to supply everything that we needed. I hit some pay dirt in that I found a single source vendor that will do everything for us, the full package, with a $250,000 credit discount on the package in exchange for a job.
Right, okay.
We've got the package that you saw me unloading back on the science ship.
Small crate.
Yeah, small crate to Gerzil.
I'll just
Not
kind of tap
Gerzil.
on a
Sorry,
side.
Gerzil's the bad one. Not Gerzil. Definitely not Gerzil. Where's it going? It's going to Gletty. It's 9 parsecs, 12 single jumps, 6 double jumps through Ogun space. I considered the route already. We've got Ogun, Svetoid, Matug, Chur all on the way. So these are fairly major travel routes with trade potential along the way. There's going to be passengers, cargo, mail needing to go the same way anyway. We run into a little bit of dark space when we get to Chur, because then we have to jump Fand in Gletty. But they're all safe ports. There's nowhere particularly dangerous along the way. And it is literally a delivery of a box.
I've never been there before. This sounds like fun.
It's a shakedown cruise. It takes us through Ogun space. Like I say, these are also not the kind of people that you cross or turn down when they offer you a job. This is one of those, if we didn't take the job, we'd end up being blacklisted, which would reduce our chances of getting future jobs.
I've got nothing against the job.
No. Okay, good.
I've never been there before. Why not? They might have new and interesting booze.
Yeah.
There is standard information on Gletty in so all the information in there you can easily access from like a data terminal or a quick wiki search, that kind of thing.
Also, I have reason to believe that the Tothan authorities may not be quite as upfront as they're claiming.
With regards to anything in particular?
Difficult to put a finger on it, but finger to the pulse, listening into what people have got to say, I think they are keeping some secrets, some big ones.
I wouldn't put it past them. Clones give me the creeps, to be honest with you. Everyone looking the same. Ugh.
Yeah, I think they're running a cover-up. I can't tell you on what or how, but the janitors that came and cleaned the ship?
Yeah.
Did they look like the ones that we saw hide when we came out of the lift? I can't remember.
Yes, they would have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, all of the serving staff looked like them as well. And
yeah,
when we came out of the lift just before the bang, everyone ran in.
Janitors are genetically programmed scientists.
And they're waiting on people.
Why are they waiting on people and cleaning floors?
Weird.
I think it's a punishment thing. I think those people have done something in their genetic line and they're being made to suffer for it.
So just because they're a clone of that particular person that made the mistake, they're all being punished.
Looks like.
Bizarre system.
Yeah. Also, how many genetic lines are there on Tothan?
100, if I remember correctly.
Officially, there are 99. I have reason to suspect there could be as many as 105, possibly more.
Strange. Do you think they're keeping the others as soldiers if they need to breed them or something?
I think they may be developing a clone soldier program, but I also think they're deleting bloodlines that they don't like.
Strange. I mean, the whole thing's an odd practice, but
I think there may be a bloodline that they've taken out of circulation.
wouldn't happen to be the Wrens, would it? I didn't see any of those when I was on the station.
Funny that.
Well,
The good doctor knows something, but I don't think we should press her on it.
if she wants to tell us, she can. Until then, it's probably best we try not to get too involved. Not openly, anyway.
No.
Information in the right place, that can be a thing, as long as it can't be traced back to us, because Tothan is good for trade.
Absolutely. As an aside on that, the Dyson Sphere bods.
Yes, we are due to meet with them upon our return.
Okay, I don't need to get involved. You've got that covered. I only just heard about them.
You're welcome to come along when we do. We were kind of on our way to this.
Yeah.
When we
No, I was just
had
thinking,
a chat with the chap.
if they've got access to a Dyson Sphere, there could be all manner of goodies.
I do like
If we've
goodies.
got the money, though.
Depends on whether we're buying it or not. I mean, a prospector's license to go and have a look around could surely be a thing, shouldn't it?
Oh, pricey.
Assuming it is licensed.
But that's what we managed to uncover on the trade run.
So, Marquis, you spoke to the Eurodan, didn't you?
Yeah. So is he so if you look over, Maki right now has his legs up over the bar and is doing like sit-ups. And so when he gets to the top of the bar, he takes a sip of a Bloody Mary. And when he gets all the way back down to the floor, he gets a sip of water just to make sure he's staying hydrated. And then like while talking, while doing that, we'll just say, yeah, something about that guy. He was a little on the, I don't want to be judgmental or anything, but he was a bit like serious, you know, like even more than Monty serious, you know, like something wasn't right about him is all I'm saying.
In the
Even a
background, you
thing?
hear a hum.
Some people just are serious for some reason. I'll say sipping my cocktail.
Right, but I don't mean like, you know, like I think he might have been, you know, affected in some way. You know, he kept talking about like the light and everything. I don't know. He gave me, I mean, he talked about explosive weapons, so that was cool and everything. But other than that, you know, it's a little strange is all I'm saying. You should be careful.
Little strange,
Yeah.
he says, as he's doing sit-ups.
He's doing sit-ups with Bloody Mary.
Just training. Ugh.
But I do
Vitamin
like
C,
explosive
hydration.
weapons.
Okay, so the conversations continue a bit and degenerate into maybe a few drinking games and some fun towards
As a question,
the
can I
evening.
try and arrange things like post from the ship's boat?
Generally, it's best to arrange post when you're leaving because
Okay.
other ships are coming and going all the time, so they don't know who's
Right. Okay.
available at what moment and what post there is to go, how many letters they've got, you know. And you set up your communication link with the Pride of Sigyn so that they have active telemetry from your vessel at all times. They can't hear what you're saying in your ship,
They just know where we are.
and they know what, like your energy readout, and if you're thrusting or if you're doing this or if you're sending a communication or all those kinds of things. So they'll know if whatever you're doing systematically. That was the stipulation of you going out there.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
We just
No, sure.
that's
I'm-
not
I'm
the bit we care if they know.
No, I know.
Can I try and set
Okay.
up a time delay on that?
Ooh. How much of a time delay?
Just a few seconds, just in case we need to hit a cutoff.
You could just record one of the my computer program entries, and then instead of actually them watching us enter, you could just play it back, and they'd be like, "Oh, look."
Loop the tape, basically.
Speed.
No, because we'd be that wouldn't quite work. But you could do it as if we were doing like a slow landing, like coming in slowly, as if it was all pre-recorded as a simulation.
We're not worried if they know where we are.
No.
And they can see you. It's not like
Yeah, they can just
you're
scan,
burning
yeah.
through open space. They can see your tail plume. They can
They're
see.
far away.
It's grav maneuvering thrusters, isn't it? You're not in. You're not one of the older tech propellant ships. So, but they can see your vessel. They know where you are, but they want to keep an eye on what you're doing with your ship. Okay, so most of a day passes, and Simon, I will warn you that I've been given a re-roll to use on your piloting roll by Frankie in the chat.
Your re-roll.
Leon,
keep changing the name of the ship.
So you're getting closer. You can see it on sensors.
We're not even on the baby shark, so it's fine.
And for a while, you can see the ship on your sensors. For a while, it's just a blip, a low energy blip. As you start to get closer to within sort of hundreds of thousands of kilometers, rather than astronomical units, you and then thousands of kilometers. You're getting closer. You can start to scan the vessel. You can see just from all of your kind of systems that it is very low power. It has the maneuvering drive seems to not be active. You think there's probably very low level life support in the vessel. There's people could be alive in there quite easily.
Breather masks are a good idea, basically.
Yeah. So it's got atmosphere. The air might be a bit thin. That's all. And they don't seem to be communicating, or their transponder isn't on. So there's something wrong with their communication system.
Okay. Yeah. Once we start getting closer, obviously, that's when stop drinking a good, couple of hours in advance.
Well, yeah, you've probably had some sleep. You probably had some
gearing
sleep
up
as well.
It's offensive, actually.
I don't understand. What is this? Stop drinking.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to make a some sort of sensory scanning roll to see if they can pick up anything.
Yeah, I can.
Ship.
Captain, you have joined me on the bridge.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, he walked in while you were monologuing at the invisible crewmates who aren't there.
You know me.
I've met Parsons. It's fine.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you scan the ship.
I'm looking for life signs.
Yeah,
ideally.
Your sensors aren't sophisticated enough on a ship's boat.
Okay.
To pick up neural. That you can have a NAS, a neural array scanner, and that allows you to pick up like life forms. You guys have got like heat signature, mass, and that kind of thing. There's very low level heat signature coming from the ship, as if a ship that is, like a car cooling down on the drive after you've turned it off. It's there is a residual heat to it in the body of the ship, and you can tell that there are some life support systems, low power systems being maintained. One thing you can see is that there has been some sort of damage to the upper airlock on the ship, but from this range you can't really tell. All you can see is kind of an anomalous mass kind of on that side of
Okay.
side of the ship.
Obviously, I'll pass that information on to Parsons, as he's going to need to know where to dock.
Well, I'm expecting Montgomery to give me some advice as to where he wants me to dock, as he's the one going through first.
Well, we've only really got one option. One of the airlocks is docked, is damaged, so we're going in the other one.
So,
Okay.
Is there any windows in this thing?
Yeah, the
Can I
front.
do
It
a?
is.
Can we
Yeah.
visually reconnaissance the outside of the?
We're quite far away still.
Yeah. So as you approach, you can kind of maneuver around it to see if you can see anyone inside. Absolutely.
It's more. I want to assess the damage to the outside of the ship to see if it would. Would we be able to tell if it was weapons or like meteorite type thing? Like, has it been damaged?
Once you get closer.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
going to go.
so
I'm going to go to the bridge and I'm going to say to Parsons, does this thing have lights on it?
Yes.
Obviously, while I'm in the mask, I'm fully geared up now. So Parsons,
Okay.
is there something in this? So yeah, get us closer. We want to have a look on the outside to see if there's any damage to the outside, and see what kind of damage it's got on the outside of it.
And I want someone to keep an eye out for those pop-up guns, just in case they activate whilst we're flying.
Let's have a routine piloting role from the Dread Pirate Roberts, as he's renamed himself. Going off of the chat window, so I don't see what the result. So routine is actually a 6+.
Yeah.
So you need to change the difficulty, but that means you've got an effective 2, so that's fine. So you start to get closer now, and kind of visual range. It's like a small, you can kind of see it now, and you have slowed the ship right down. You don't want to be at 5G. You're like, you just went straight past it. You've braked, and you're now at a low velocity, so you can kind of maneuver around it. And you can see that it looks like there is definitely something attached onto the upper airlock. It looks mechanical in nature. It's not some sort of space alien or anything, giant egg. And as you get even closer, you can see what it looks like is to you, Monty, and you've seen this before, is where someone's docked, and then the person you've docked with doesn't want you to be docked, and it gets torn apart, and it looks like that airlock is ruined.
So it looks like basically someone's left a bit of their umbilical behind.
Exactly.
I'm
But
assuming
in
I
so
recognise
doing,
that as well.
Yeah.
I just say because I just saying that because Monty was looking out the window.
Okay. I'll con the Sidenicans and say, are you getting these images?
Yes. It's Captain Jindaroff is on the direct line with you. This is a serious situation.
Can I scan while he's doing this?
Yeah, you can.
Now we're close.
Mm-hmm. I'd proceed with caution. It looks like they've been boarded, perhaps, before they could jump away. I'm authorizing you to use lethal force on anyone that has taken control of our vessel.
I'm going to re-roll.
In the background, you just hear Monty go, "Glorious!"
He's in his helmet. There's just a.
All of his guns suddenly switch from having little blue lights on the side to having little red lights on the side.
So, Monty, we could just kick you out here, and you could just go in through the damaged.
I was literally just about to say.
And then we'll go around to the other side.
I was literally about to say to Pete, if I was to take a walk on the outside of the ship, do I think I'd be able to get that off, or at least get myself through the airlock? We may not be able to connect the ship, but would I be able to?
But you may cause explosive decompression because it looks like the outer airlock is compromised. So there's now no longer your 2-door system. So getting into the ship would mean you'd have to vent.
Yeah, you could kill everyone on board.
And the ship might be open, although that is the upper deck. So there's only 7 staterooms. So you might just horribly murder about 15 people. But
you've just been authorized to.
Yeah, but we don't know who's on board. They could be valuable.
I just have this image of Dan walking down through a ship and just these little explosions.
You
Yeah.
might be able to, and you might, once you get there, you might be able to scan the interior and see if you're in any kind of chance of causing that.
We should have bulkhead patches. You could probably go into the airlock and put a bulkhead patch behind you, and that would seal it.
This is kind of like a whole.
Yeah, I was going to say we probably don't have
Kind of
enough
like an
kit
airlock
on this.
has like.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah. No, it's a good suggestion. It is a good suggestion, but it just
Lock on the
looks.
bottom.
If you
and
had
slide
a,
shield
if you
in.
had a, has anyone got a survival bubble?
Oh, a
Got
lifeboat.
one of those.
One of the lifeboat bubble things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could
Probably
like
didn't pack one with me. No.
you could that in the doorway, and that might seal it up.
I mean, it would have been brilliant, but I don't think we got a lifeboat on board.
No.
Kind of silly.
Not one of those, no.
I'm going to put a vac suit on, I think, rather than try and do this like with just a breathing mask, because there's been a lot of talk of explosive decompression, and that doesn't sound like as much fun as you guys might think it is.
As long as you've got a breather on, you can get out of the way quick. It's not too bad.
Okay, I think what I'll probably do is still go for the walk just to assess it, because if it's the first sort of bit's been ripped off, but if I can open the second hatch and then reclose it so it doesn't massively decompress the ship, then I'll probably do that. But otherwise, I'll just walk around to the cargo doors and meet the rest of the team down there.
I mean, one airlock is pretty close above the other one, that or the cargo. So you could get to either of those things. The cargo door though is like 40-foot wide, 20-foot tall style, huge thing that's like.
Yeah, because you said that would be more closed up. But are we going to be able to gain access through that, or are we going to rely on Carl to get us into that bit, Mr. Kona?
Before he starts going outside the ship to spacewalk, does my Effect 5 scan tell us anything useful?
Oh yes, your Effect 5 scan. Your Effect 5 scan tells you that there seem to be small energy signatures. And you can only pick this up because you've rolled A so well, and B, the power levels on the ship are so low. But there are kind of personal level, scale, power signatures. Very, very low. You're just picking up these little spikes in the readout, and you think, oh, hang on. That looks like someone with some personal gear that's powered, maybe moving
Like
around.
computers and things.
Or even like a radio, a suit, that kind of thing. It could be low-level battery power.
Is that reflected on the heat scan as well?
The heat scan, your heat scan on this ship is not very sophisticated, so you're just kind of getting a blanket, like warm. Maybe they're wearing things, you're not sure.
Okay, how many of the low-level ones did I pick up?
It's hard to tell. Maybe half a dozen, you're not sure.
Okay.
Because they kind of appear and disappear. So you're like, is that the same one or is it?
I'll relay to Monty, there could be around half a dozen people on board.
That's all you hear. Just Monty laughing inside of his armour.
I'd probably rather you went in with us, Monty. You're leading the way.
Fine, Captain, if that's where you want me.
Well, you're the one that knows what he's doing, and I'd rather you were leading the way than us.
Fair enough.
You've got all the big armour on.
Yes, I definitely do have that.
Someone's got to show people what happens when you get shot.
Hopefully not a lot. Okay, and I guess we're going for the main cargo bay then, if that's where we want to go.
Cargo bay is a very big door.
We'll go through the other airlock, yeah?
We're going through the airlock that's working.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I thought Pete said there was only one airlock and then the two side doors.
There's two airlocks. They're sort of staggered on the right-hand side of the ship, on the starboard side, and then there's two cargo doors, one on the port side and one on the starboard side.
Yeah, we should probably go to the working airlock then.
Okay. I shall spin us into place and lock us on in amazing fashion.
As you start to do that, Montgomery turns on his mag boots inside this shit. Where we crash and disintegrate, I'm going to be stuck to something metal.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with a very difficult roll to show just how impressive it's going to be.
What?
Why don't you just roll,
no.
and then if you get really good effect, then you do really well.
Do you want me to do it that way?
It's up to you. It's up to you. I mean, I'm sure Leon watching right now will want you to do it the other way.
A very difficult roll. It's like 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it went so badly.
You have got to die. You have got 2 rerolls. I'm just going to throw this out there.
I know. I thought I'd give it a go. I'll use a reroll.
Do you want to do it on average difficulty?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
There you go.
See, that would have worked that time.
Yeah. So you spin the ship's boat around, remembering Frankie's maneuvers at Space Dock, and doing a kind of tumbling pirouette. You bring the ship's boat in, and for all of you in the bridge, the kind of stars and everything kind of whirl around unexpectedly out the main window, and then you hear shung. The airlock auto locks onto the Sidenican vessel. Then you hear like the ping.
A small bead of sweat will trickle down the side of my chin.
Okay, and you dock onto the ship.
I'm already at the airlock, primed.
Vac-suit on, boarding shield, shotgun.
So you get to the airlock, Monty, and you look in, and you can see a short corridor. This airlock corridor, a couple of meters, fit a couple of people in there at a time. Much like your own one is just a tiny airlock that you've got. And it's empty. Seems to be very low power. The airlock seems to be functioning. There's you can see the little readout on the interior door. There's just a little low level light on there, but the main lights in the ship seem to be out or not working very well. There's only emergency lighting, sort of very thin LED strips here and there that are giving a very foreboding and kind of dark feel to it.
I mean, that's not a massive issue for me. My armor has infrared vision and night vision in it, so it doesn't matter for Monty. He can see where he's going.
Well, you can see. It's not brightly lit. It's when the plane's on emergency lighting, kind of, or we turn off the main lights for landing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm gonna signal to everyone. Go. I'm going in, and I'm gonna clear and make sure it's secure, and you can follow me in. I'll radio you. Jeff, wait for me.
Marquis going to turn around and he's going to repeat everything Monty just said. All right, we're going to go in. We're going to clear it out. And then we're going to radio back when it's time for you to what he said.
I'm going to clasp you on the shoulder and go, you make a good shoulder, Jeff.
Can you use a blade, Jeff?
Okay.
Can the Marquis use a blade?
Marquis has blade in a what's that called? A slug, a snub pistol. So he's got a blade.
Yeah, so okay. Just Marquis, you wait first. I'll call you up when we're ready to go.
Okay.
I mean, he does have access to a combat shotgun if he wants one.
You want that?
Can you see the map?
Can we see the map?
Monty, can you see the map?
Sheet's in the way.
Yeah, likewise.
All I can see is black.
I can see Monty floating.
It's a really good vision of space.
There's nothing but
little dots.
Yeah, it's all black and there's little dots.
Can I put you all in
around.
the same square? Let's have a look. I can.
Apparently, I collided with a wall when I clicked on it.
Yeah. So in front of you, there's a door. So that symbol, the number 4, indicates that you're in an airlock, and a square in front of you. There is you probably can see just the white outline of the.
Oh yeah, I can move on to
hang
that
on.
little 4.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll move it back.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So you can all go on one square. Okay, cool. Right, let me put you all on one square so you can see the entrance. Nobody move yet.
Oh, there's the number 4.
Because it's
I can't see
just.
anything. I've just got a black
Yeah,
That's me.
I'm putting you
Hi,
in.
me.
I'm putting you in.
Yeah, no worries.
And who else is there? Marquee. Okay, right. You're all on the same square. Just to represent, you can all see the entrance. You've docked. To the right of that token is your ship.
Okay.
And to the left is the entranceway. And there is a door at the end, which you can open. And you can actually open it by clicking on it when you get there and do it. So
I have that Urkerite hacking box with me.
I don't know that you do.
I didn't pack it. Didn't occur to me that we even had it until just now. So happy for you
no.
to say no.
So roll
still got my brain.
2d6. Roll 2d6. If you roll an 8+, then you've got it. Yeah, it just happens to be in some of the boxes that the guys brought with them with their guns and stuff. You've kind of stashed it in the mock armory, so you've got that kit that you had before.
That might help.
Mm.
Good thinking, whoever packed that.
But I need to put Karen on the same.
Deliberate.
Where are you, Karen? That's actually handy because now the viewers will be able to see the legend for the ship. Okay, so you're standing in this airlock, Monty.
I'm at the airlock.
You're going to move up and.
Yeah. So is it just like a hit button that's going to open it?
Yeah, I mean it's a cycle. So the airlock behind you at the moment, because it's open to your ship's boat, you can open the interior door.
Yeah.
So that means now your ship's boat is open to anything that's inside.
But that's okay because the airlock will be to the cargo area, not the crew compartment.
I'm assuming that we close one door on our ship, then open their door.
Yeah, on a ship's boat, it's not quite as sophisticated, but there's a kind of a simple setup. It's kind of almost like a little cupboard that you step through.
And I sort of pre-warn everybody before I do open the next door. I'm like, breaching, and open the door and then start moving through into the corridor. So how do I open this door on this button?
You click on. There's a little grey. Can you see a little grey box?
No, but I might need to zoom in.
There. No, wicked. Look at that.
So you can see into a room, and there are 2 chairs and a table.
How do I make it? How do I zoom?
I'm just going to move into like that. Just scroll, Simon.
Just scroll in. Okay.
So I'm going to move into there, but I'm doing it like properly tactically and been like checking all my corners and making it look very professional.
Okay, I don't have a mouse, so I can't scroll.
Hold down both.
You can use 2 fingers on the
keyboard.
That just makes me turn around.
Technology.
Don't select your token when you try and zoom because you rotate. Press escape and then press escape and then do it. Yeah, I can see. Now this is the first time I've had to set up walls myself.
Back to join screen.
First time I've had to do walls myself in Foundry. It was very easy to do, but there may be a little clipping error every now and then between some of the joins on some of the walls. So apologies if anything's wildly out. You can see to the south. I'll use the compass points, the cardinal points, to explain where we're going. To the south, you can see there's an open door into a quarters, and you are obviously in the kind of ship crew lounge. There's a door to the north that leads onto the bridge. It has the word bridge on it, and you can kind of see through a gap some of the stations in there. And you know that the doorway, where the number 5 is, that corridor leading down there would probably lead to the cargo bay.
Okay.
Please make a
stress check.
Make a stress check now. Recon. Have you got recon?
I thought I had recon. I thought I got it when I did one of my things. Maybe I haven't added it to my thing.
You might not have loaded it or might have finished training in it yet.
No, because I'm sure I got recon. As
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it as one of my life events, but I think I've actually forgotten to put it on my sheet. So what's the stat for it? And I'll just roll a stat for it.
It's going to be intellect. So roll your intellect.
Cool. And is it an average roll?
Yeah, this is just an average roll.
Cool. I rolled a 7, which is a -1 apparently.
Okay, so you're kind of in your full battle dress, moving into the room. Your kind of movements, your own kind of breathing and everything is kind of filling your ears at the moment, and you're not really hearing anything as you move into the room.
And I assume my infrared and is not picking any sort of like any heat signatures in my immediate vicinity.
In your immediate vicinity, no.
Should have meditated.
No, but
harder.
this probably doesn't like it scanned through walls and stuff.
No, that's exactly It's basically meant to see what the human eye sees, and then it turns it into infrared if I need it to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to radio back and say, first room clear.
Marquis will go tumbling in and like taking up position behind like chairs and looking, and then like kind of waving everyone behind all the way in as well. It's very heroic looking.
Yeah, as Marquis comes through, I go, Marquis, secure the room here with everybody else. I'm moving to the bridge, and I'll move my way towards the bridge.
Okay, step to the door. Let the others come into the room.
Yeah, I was going to do that.
They're all going to file in.
I want them to secure this zone anyway before I move into the next room.
I like the way Jacob Parsons is at a slight angle.
Is that a jaunty angle?
He's a pirate. Do you want me to sort that out for you?
No, it's okay. I don't mind being at a jaunty angle.
Okay, you can see them all sort of filing into the room. Monty, you get to the bridge door, and it looks like it's just randomly wandering around the ship.
I'm going to the cargo area.
Yeah, hold up for a sec.
Screw finding out what's going on. He wants to rob it.
Okay. I think we're going to have to take a short break. It's probably a good moment anyway. So let's have a little break. I need to pop into the house, and when we come back, we'll do the storming the castle. Yep. Is that okay?
Goodbye, boys. Have fun storming the castle.
Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of episode 5 of Feudal Stars. Apologies for that sudden break there. I had to attend to some parental duties. We've had a few people in chat while I was away asking if we're doing a giveaway this week. Unfortunately, we're not. However, we are providing wonderful entertainment. But tomorrow, it is our Twitchiversary. And we will be giving away a drive-through RPG voucher tomorrow in the Spire stream. So come and join us for Spire tomorrow from 8 p.m. GMT, which is a bit different in some parts of the world because of daylight savings, although we're going to catch up at this weekend. There'll be a nice voucher giveaway tomorrow to celebrate us being on Twitch for a year. It's been a whole year since COVID forced us to shut down the studio and take to the megawebs, and we haven't looked back. It's been fantastic. Okay, cool. Right. So before the break, our crew had ventured onto the Sedenican vessel and gained access to the kind of lounge area in the ship. It's fairly dark. There's emergency lighting, and Monty was about to open the door to the bridge. So you go for that.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to push that little grey button there. Beep. I'm going to... Oh my God, there's someone in front of me.
Okay, let's have initiative.
Oh, did I not even get to say, are you a bad guy? Right.
Well, he's going to shoot you.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
When he gets the chance, because he's holding a rifle and he's turning around as he hears the door open.
Which one's initiative?
It is. Let me just get to.
Do I actually have it set
a
up?
dex or int check. Effect of this check is their initiative for the duration of combat. So we.
Is this everybody rolling initiative or just Monty?
Everyone.
So sorry, we've got a choice of Dex or Int. Was that?
Yes.
Tuffy.
Oh, right. It's the old-fashioned way. I'm not going to roll from their couch sheet yet because that would be giving away stuff. But I will roll that. There's my pen. Yes, here we go. Okay, so anyone get 3 or above?
Everyone did.
Do you mean effect or total?
Effect.
Oh, effect.
Oh, no.
No.
No, 2. Anyone get effect of 2? No, 1.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got Kona, Anson, Pirate Boy,
And me. Yeah.
0. No.
Really badly.
-1. That was me. But questionable guys, because we don't know if they're bad guys yet.
The Gazillion Rebels.
Anyone else? Shh.
It's on the roll.
Oh, did I? Oh, because I've
Yeah, you
selected him,
did.
so it came up. I thought I'd done that secretly, but stupid me. Anyway, never mind. Right. So, anyone else at -1?
Who could they be?
Nope.
No, -2.
Marquee.
Okay. And then, oh dear, you are caught flat-footed, Monty.
Yes.
No, he's just going to stand there with his hands on his hips and let them shoot him for a few rounds. Make him feel
Okay,
useful.
So
It's
this
called
this is
assessing the enemy's strengths.
this initial round will just be you and me, Monty.
Yep.
And then from then on, everyone else can get involved.
Cool.
So this person is going to. They turn around and they are wearing a vac suit, but not sealed up. Just kind of got the vac suit. There's a helmet nearby. They have a rifle, cutlass at the belt, and they have a breather as well. They've got kind of crazy messed up hair. Looks like it's got stuff in it to kind of spike it. And sort of in the opening of the vac suit, you can see very tatty prime color clothing, like a bright red kind of hand knitted kind of clothing.
The vac suit he's wearing, I assume it's just like a basic vac suit. It's not like what I'm wearing right now.
Got a Sudenican thing on it. You think it's probably one from this ship.
Okay. Well, at the moment, I almost, you say I'm caught flat-footed, but actually Monty, because he's wearing Sudenican, is probably thinking, it could be a member of the crew. I'm not going to start putting in bullets in him.
This person is clearly not a member of the crew. Just from their, I mean, if they would have been court-martialed with their appearance alone. Look at that. Roger's asking for re-rolls in the chat. Oh, poor Roger.
I'm the only one without one at the moment.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you re-roll using my re-rolls. And they turn around and they're like, freedom from within the mast. Freedom! And it's like shoots at you with a slug throwing gun inside the starship. Oh look, Roger, that asked for it, and you shall receive 2 rerolls there, and fires at you.
Lovely.
did actually set up the characters earlier on, which is handy. Bridge. I'm actually going to make it. You did startle them.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to make it difficult for them because they're sort of turning around and like. Ah!
Effect -6.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
don't shoot at the big metal man. It's a silly life choice.
So as they spin
6.
round, fires early, and actually hits the kind of interior glass of the bridge, part of the screens and stuff. So like you hear a smash over to one side, but they
Don't break the computers.
turn to face you. They are, as you can see, standing in the middle of the chamber, looking desperate, sort of looking around, like kind of wired look in their eyes, looking at you. Behind them, you can see a slumped figure in one of the chairs, like an
So
arm.
somebody who looks very dead. Let's just say.
Looks very dead, and as you're just kind of perceiving this in the kind of peripherals, a lot of the stations in here and computers look trashed. It all looks a mess in here, but you don't have too long to kind of figure that out before
Someone has a pop at me.
So Monty, it's now your go.
Well, I mean, I'm armed with an assault shotgun, and it would be rude not to use it. So Montgomery is going to blast away, but I'm going to do full auto as well. Because, and I also have armor-piercing bullets in my gun, so this should be very interesting.
Okay.
So is this going to be an average roll now for me?
This is an average auto. What kind of burst are you doing?
2. So I'm doing full auto, so it's going to fire.
Equal to the auto score. Attacks can be made against separate targets,
yep.
So long as they're within 6 meters. A number of rounds equal to 3 times your auto score. So it uses 6 shots.
Yeah, it's going to use
and you get 2 attacks on the guy.
Just don't miss with an armor-piercing round on a spaceship.
No, is that what I thought when I put the entry in for?
Who uses armor-piercing for a breaching action?
I do.
All auto. Make a number of attacks.
If it,
Follow points for breaching.
Oh, sorry, no. So I'm doing burst fire. I'm doing 2 shots because I'm going for the extra damage. Sorry.
And so you add the auto score to damage. Yeah. This uses a number of rounds equal to the auto score. So.
Yeah, apologies. I'm doing that one.
Right. Okay. So you're going to do a burst, and
I got 11. Effect 3.
Okay. Effect 3. Now that means you will hit. Let's see if you want to.
Can he dodge?
Dodge. Yeah, both ranged and melee attacks may be dodged. So a traveler who's dodging will inflict a penalty equal to his whichever is higher to his every attack. Dodge separately. So for a traveler is shot at by 2 enemies in the same way, he can dodge both, but will suffer DM -2 on his next actions. Okay, so you can try and dodge. So basically, his effect will come off your effect.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. So it's a Dex DM or Athletics Dexterity. Equal to his Dex DM. Oh, okay, right. So basically, he dodges you and reduces your attack by 1.
So it's effect 2 now.
Yeah. Don't have athletics dexterity. Yes. So it's effect 2.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is you roll damage.
Yes.
And that is, what's that for your weapon?
4D.
4d6 plus 2, so 17 damage, and that's armor piercing 4.
So 4 points of his armor don't count.
Yeah.
And you do 17 points of damage.
That is correct.
So
unless that extra effect gives me more damage, I don't know.
I've got to plug my brain into that computer.
Yeah, well, no, the +2 effect. The +2 effect was to get you to 17 damage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No. I get 2 damage from firing burst. So it's actually then...
Oh, yeah. 19 damage. You're absolutely right. Okay. So their armor is 6, I think. Yeah, 6. So -4 is 2. So it takes 17 points of damage. So their endurance hits 0 straight away. Damage is initially applied to a target's endurance. If a target is reduced to 0 endurance, then any excess damage is deducted from the target's strength or dex, target's choice. I'm going to go for dex for strength. Oh no, he can take that was 8, so he's got to take 9 more damage, so he can still be standing. If I take 6 off there, off strength, and 3 off dex. So.
He's unconscious, yeah. As soon as your endurance.
No, if strength or dex are reduced, you're unconscious, and then if both of them are reduced, you're dead.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's splitting it between the 2 stats, which is why he's not unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. One for each person, but anyway. Okay, so yes, there is the sudden report of a combat shotgun firing off 2 blasts just next to you, Marquis, and you're everyone is suddenly alert, and we will begin the next round of combat with Kona, Anson, and the Dread Pirate Roberts all going at the same time. Let's just do it as I've listed it. So unless there's anyone who particularly wants to go first.
No.
Okay, Kona, what are you up to?
The doorway's blocked. I can't get through to do anything there. Are there any computer access points in this room that will work?
None that you can see. There may be in the staterooms. There's
So I'm going to make my way across the room then, so I can see 6 now. What's 6?
Is a fresher. Oh, my thing hasn't updated.
So I found the toilet. That's helpful.
Yep, found the toilet.
To there.
Yep, there's a door there.
Do that. So if I open that door, I can see into where 3 is now.
Ah, yes. Yep. Okay. So you can see into one of the staterooms, and to your, you can see there's a desk. So you assume there's a computer point there, and you can see the end corner of a bed, and there's probably a toilet round.
But more to the point, is there anybody in there pointing a gun at me?
No, you can see feet on the bed.
I will move into the room then.
Okay. Dead body.
Dead body.
Bed.
Bad guys.
Looks like it's taken a cutlass to the head.
Oof.
It's pretty messy on that bed, but there is a computer station on that desk.
On that desk.
Which it's like low power standby mode.
Well, rest of my go then, I'm going to set up the hacking module in my brain and plug it into there.
Okay. So we'll need a roll for you to get the kit going, and then we'll need another roll next turn to get your brain going, because rounds aren't very long. But that's cool. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, that's going to make your next roll routine because you succeeded so well. So you kind of get out that equipment, plug it all in as you saw it previously.
Start plugging everything in, powering it up, running. I'm from the Ukarite Combine because I'm from Kulla originally, so I'll be familiar with the tech.
Yep, absolutely. Anson, what are you up to?
Could I walk up next to Monty?
He's in like a big armor suit thingy. You won't be able to actively fire your gun past him, unfortunately.
Under his legs.
Okay.
I mean, if he wants to let you shoot it through his legs, then
can you? Well, he's holding a boarding shield, but can I hold my action and wait for him to get out of the way? Is that a thing that you can do?
I think you can hold your action. I remember reading the actions bit. I don't have my book.
That's cool. We'll say you can hold.
All right, I'll basically hold my action until Monty steps forward, at which point I'll kind of move in next to him.
Okay. That's cool. Right, so you're holding. Dare I ask? Am I brave enough? Jacob Parsons, what are you up to?
I'll say, Monty, it looks like you've got this. I'll head to the cargo area, and I shall move myself to the cargo area.
Okay.
Which is basically where I am. So I should just, because I looked at the schematic of the ship before we landed, so I know where I am.
Yeah. Okay, so you're at the cargo bay.
I am at the cargo bay.
Are you going to open? Have you?
Oh yeah.
You opening the door?
Oh yeah. How do I do that?
Click on there's a little door in front of you, and there's a little grey box in the middle of the door. Your token might be diagonally hanging over the top of that grey box. There you go. Right, so you can see into the cargo bay, and there are various boxes dotted around inside this cargo bay. So it would be possible for people to take advantage of the dive for cover action.
Yeah.
In combat, and make a recon or intellect roll.
Let's see if my recon is better than my intellect. Nope. Can I make a stealth roll?
No.
Okay. I'm allowed to ask.
To hear people doing stealth?
I'm dressed as a pirate, so I mean, it's not as if it was going to work anyway, was it? Effective 1.
I throw open the door, stride in purposefully, shout,
okay.
And then I roll stealth.
Yeah.
Can I roll this?
I don't appear to be able to move any further down.
There's you can do the drop down menu above the chat window and switch it to GM or whatever.
Okay, so you are aware of you can't quite see them, but you can hear a noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think there's someone moving around in that area?
Okay.
Over behind a box or something.
Okay.
So as I said, I've activated them because you can't. You know they're there, but you can't quite see them.
Okay. Well, my combat drugs gives me a free action every turn.
Taking your combat drugs?
Oh yes.
Okay, cool. What kind of action?
Basically,
full action. Partial, minor, or one significant action or one minor action every turn.
Yes. So I shall throw a stun grenade vaguely in the direction of where he is.
Okay.
And it's a 6-meter effect. So skill-wise, I need a dexterity, agility, athletics dexterity check.
Have you got? Wait. Have you got the skill for throwing hand grenades?
Have I got? It says it's an athletics dexterity.
Yeah. Do you have athletics? You got athletics
Yeah,
dexterity?
I've got, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
What,
Cool.
Could you ever imagine me not
right,
having it?
That's all right then. Cool. So you're going to throw your stun grenade.
Yes. I understand you can sub in career farmer
for tossing turnips. Okay. So you're going to throw your stun grenade.
Yeah.
Into that area, and a kind of 3 square, 6 meter. So it's just kind of 3 squares.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of like, kind of blasts in the room, and you hear from like shouts from around the room. And and you're aware that there's probably more people in the room than you previously thought. Roll your stun grenade damage.
How do I roll 3d6?
/ roll space 3d6.
No, it's already done it. Look, damage using stun grenade, 3d6
Yeah, it's done
plus
it.
0, 13.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Already done it for you. Look at how cool is that. Okay, so incapacitates targets rather than killing.
I am a pirate. You can't ransom someone who's dead. If only Monty knew.
It's flipping between pages. Combat. No. Stun. Anyone else find the stun? You know where your rules are, Simon?
Sorry, I was looking at combat.
It's okay.
Stun.
Which is only deducted from endurance, taking into account any armor. If the target's endurance is reduced to 0, the target will be incapacitated and unable to perform actions. For
Okay,
rounds.
cool. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, so 13 points of damage, taking into account armor.
Yeah.
So, big explosion, big blast of light in that corner of the room, and you hear. That's what you hear.
Okay.
That's your go.
Yep.
Okay. Next, it's me. So we are going to have. Can you see that guy? He is going to move a few boxes over to there.
Mm-hmm. What's the movement? How far can people move? You know, how many squares do you move in a?
Yeah. I'm just getting the. Aiming movement, 6 meters. So you can move 3 squares. So he moved 3 squares diagonally.
Yeah. Oh no, what have I done?
Okay. And can now see you. So it's going to fire a rifle at you.
Okay.
Get this guy out. And misses. You guys hear a shot. Well, first you hear the explosion of a stun grenade, a flashbang go off, and then you hear a reciprocal shot. And that person shouts over their shoulder as they moved, they're inside, they're inside. And then someone else who was around the corner from you steps forward, sword drawn.
Yeah.
Aha! Freedom! And swings the sword at you. Okay. Full on swashbuckling, kind of runs in. Ah! And these people all look, they've got breathers on, they've got spiky hair with gunk in it, they've got like knitted clothing, and they've all commandeered like a Sudanican vac suit. So it's going to attempt to hit you.
So he gets a minus to his dice score of my modifier because he's in combat with me.
Because you're dodging him?
No. So basically, because I've got a blade, because I've got a sword,
Yep.
he gets a negative modifier because
are you parrying?
Well, basically, he gets -4 to his roll.
How does he get -4 to his roll?
Because when you're fighting with a blade,
You can't help but attack the other person's blade. It's like second nature from watching TV.
So it just says in the rule, basically, as he goes to attack me, my dice modifier becomes his negative modifier.
Okay.
That's how it works. So
Rog knows what I mean. He's been LARPing enough times.
So you're parrying. That's the parrying roll.
Oh, yeah.
Traveling in close combat may attempt to parry an opponent's attack as a reaction. In so doing, he will inflict his melee skill as a negative DM to the attacker's attack roll.
Yeah.
Because he's attacking you, doesn't get you're
it's
doing
not automatic.
Something.
You have to
so
do
if you're using your reaction to parry him.
Okay, cool. Yep. Let's do that.
That's fine. He misses.
Okay.
So he goes, and his blade like clangs across the door frame. And like, and he's like, I'll hold them.
He may notice that my blade is humming.
Yep. He's like, there's a wild look in his eyes. A bit like your wild look.
Is it humming the theme to Copacabana?
Right, so that's that. And then you see some movement at the back of the room, but you're not sure what it was. Right, then back to the other combat, and the someone rushes at Monty, swinging the rifle as an improvised. Does he have a flick out bayonet? That would be cool. Going to attack you rather clumsily because he doesn't have the right skill for this. It's just a improvised weapon, but completely fails. Just swings. You don't even have to step out of the way, and he kind of bashes the butt of the rifle against the door jamb, missing you. Right. Next, it is the Marquis.
So, is it not possible to shoot through a friendly square? Like if I were to head down to our pirate friend and try to shoot past him, would this be?
I am quite slender.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was just because if it's just a rule or if it's just because he's got his giant armor and shield on.
I think the Monty's like big armored thing and the boarding shield, so like blocking the whole, kind of doorway.
Although boarding shields, you can have two people behind.
I also don't have a boarding shield. I am the boarding shield.
Okay.
But I am in thick heavy armor, so.
But you can go down the side, but there's now a hand-to-hand combat going on in that doorway.
Okay. So
you could try and shoot the other person, but I'm not sure if you could shoot beyond into the room.
Yeah,
if that's what you were trying to do.
No. I was just gonna try to shoot the other person. Yeah,
that's fine.
Just shoot Simon.
Yeah,
I mean, get him out of the way.
If I roll poorly enough, maybe I will. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
I'm just quickly checking to see if there's any shooting into close combat.
I'll also make sure to shout that there's more people down here, like Monty. There.
I like that we got the guns in. This person is gonna count as having cover though.
Okay.
Because they're fighting away. So it's a -2. So you need to make a difficult roll.
Okay. Then there's like a pop up, right? When you go to roll.
Yeah, when you click on it, there's average somewhere, and you just change that to difficult.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Perfect. All right, I'll get this go. No, not at all.
Ooh.
Not even close.
You got a reroll?
I do. Sure, I'll do it so I don't hit. That's much better. It's
Still
not
a
enough,
miss,
but it's much better.
Yeah. So you pick your moment, and they're like, ha ha, and the shot goes between them.
Okay.
And Parsons, you're very aware that someone's firing at you from behind.
And I'm also shouting freedom too, because apparently that's what you do in combat. So just freedom.
This person looks really confused. Like, what?
I just think that's a thing you do, apparently.
Absolutely. And then we get back to Monty, because Anson, you've still got your.
He's still
action
holding
on
isn't he?
hold.
Yeah.
So this guy's like right up in my face now.
Yeah, right up in your face, and
Cool.
and like looking worse for wear.
That's unfortunate for him, I do believe. Kablamo! I punch him with a piston fist.
Cool. So as you do it, the kind of servos and things.
Like Crossbones
Oh, hang
in
on.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
He's got piston fists. It's the best example of them.
They're very cool. However, he's going to try and dodge you. Oh no, he hasn't got a dexterity modifier right now because he's so hurt. So you do hit him.
Oh, that's very unfortunate for him.
So it's just a straight damage roll for your thing.
11.
But this armor affects this one, doesn't it?
Yeah, armor affects this one. Yeah, it's not armor.
Okay.
Person.
Can't take 5 points of damage without falling unconscious. So it's going to be 1 off strength. He's unconscious, and 4 off his dex. So there we go.
Excellent. And then I'm just going to step into the room to make sure the bridge is clear for Anson to come through.
Go for it.
So I'm assuming my piston fist has probably knocked him back as well.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to like push him into this corner. He's sort of like crumpled against one of the computers. Right, Anson, your action is now activated. Monty has dispatched this person, and you're free to maneuver.
Okie dokie. Right, so let's do what I said I was going to do. I'm going to go into the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. I think that's as far as I can move. Isn't it?
Yep.
3 squares?
3 squares. So you can see
To be
the
honest, I'll
door.
probably be sensible and gone up next to
Oh,
Monty.
okay. Okay, fine.
I'm not going to charge in front of the big armored man.
There are in the co-pilot seat on the left there, to another body. So it looks like there are 2 dead crew seats, and the door to the you can tell the door to the captain's office is open, but you can't see into there. Right. So we shall go, unless you're doing anything else, Anson. You're just doing that, moving up and.
Unless I can hear or hear anything coming from the office, I'm assuming it's probably a bit loud with all the gunfire.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hear anything coming from the office. Right, so we'll go back to the beginning of the round, and Kona, you've got your gear all hooked up, the things in, the little readouts are buzzing, and like data coming in, and you.
Okay, I want to take control of ship systems then.
Okay.
Roll type routine. Oh, look at that.
Wow, that is an awesome roll. Effective 6. Okay, so you get into the.
I'm typing really, really quickly.
It's like data fingers, you know. I always love that in Next Generation. We go, quick, data, lock out the computer, and he just like. Right, so you're like tapping away furiously, and you know you've got your wafer jack in and all that kind of stuff, and the screen starts to come up, and you can see that that the maneuver drive there's damage to it. So somewhere in the somewhere in the engineering section, there's probably some damage to the maneuver drive.
Am I able to make a broadcast across the ship's tannoy system?
You're not sure exactly where it's functioning, though. Little technical intermission while Roger has to restart his machine, fortunately. Oh. Took Melly by surprise. Sorry, Melly. Put the thing up for a minute. Hello. Sorry, we had a minor hiccup there. Ship systems crashed, and we've rebooted thanks to Kona Carl.
I'm
so
that
Kona,
good. I didn't just hack this ship, I hacked the real world.
Absolutely. What you can tell is that the life support systems are on low power. Everything's set to low power. There seems to be sabotage to the bridge, and there is some power going to the low berth section.
Okay, so they basically trashed everything.
Pretty much.
Will I be able to do something over the tannoy this round, or do I need to wait for another action?
No, you can do a brief, like,
I was just going to do, I'm going to do I'm going to do a deception roll for it to see how convincing it is.
Yep.
Pretty damn convincing.
That's very good.
So I'm going to modulate my voice. Attention, rebels. This ship has been commandeered by the Malankaya Akula Agency. Depressurization will occur in 60 seconds. Please stand down and surrender to avoid spacing. This message will repeat. And then I'll loop that message over the tannoy.
Okay. So you can all now hear this.
But it's Kona Carl, or slightly more feminine version.
It's Kona Carl's phone voice. When you're talking to.
Does anyone have to make an intelligence check? I'm just saying.
So you can all hear Kona Carl putting on a bit of a voice. The one that they've used to wind people up on the lab ship occasionally, over the tannoy on the lab ship, and doing the same thing here. And Jacob, the person in front of you is too busy in hand-to-hand combat to like really register it, and is still fighting. But you think you see some confusion from the ones behind you. A roll. secretly. Come on, Pete. Okay. Right. So you can hear some shouting, Parsons, at the back. What the what? But you can't really tell what's going on because you are still fighting. Anson, you're next. What are you up to?
Right. Let's. Which way was the captain's office?
It's the one that's the doorway that you nearly revealed when you stepped to the front of the bridge.
Which way? I'm sorry, I'm trying to.
To your left. There's a door to the left.
To the left. Okay.
Yep. To
that way.
Yep. Number 2. In there.
So is diagonal 1 or?
Yeah. Diagonal just counts as 1.
Okay.
I'm not. It's not that fussy.
So yeah, I'd basically have gone there and then there.
Yep. That's fine.
And then there. So into the captain's. Well, actually, I'll probably stop in the doorway and look around.
The captain is not here. And the office looks fairly undisturbed. There's a few sort of objects in the corner. There's a little commendation pin you can see. So the captain is clearly someone who is potentially experienced. And the computer on the desk is just sort of a low standby mode.
Okay, I'll kind of relay over the squad comms that the captain's office is clear, and there looks to be an intact computer in here.
That's when you've just heard Kona Carl's voice over the tannoy.
Yeah.
So
no, I know
assume they've plugged in somewhere.
But yeah, I don't know if different computers have different levels of access though.
This kind of ship is probably not that huge
okay.
a kind of difference between all the computers on board. If it was like a bigger military vessel, then definitely.
Okay.
But yeah, there's no sign of the captain here. Right. Jacob Parsons.
I roll to. So my first attack will be just to cut him in half.
Oh, you've already rolled it, have you? You got a bit carried away.
I did, because you were doing me, so I was like, I'm just gonna I'll just chop him up.
Okay.
So I've got effect 3.
Effect 3. Going to. Okay, so you got effect 3. So you need to roll damage.
Yeah, so it's AP6. And
6.
Yeah, AP6.
Oh, is it what kind of sword is it?
Static blade.
Oh,
that's why it's making a
yeah.
And I need to roll 3. I don't. Trying to see where it is.
Just type /roll 3d6.
Oh, yeah. Slash space roll.
No, /roll, no space there.
Roll
space
3d space 3d6 plus 2. Yeah. So you take 16 damage.
And plus 3 for your effect.
Yeah, 19 damage.
19 points of damage.
Yeah, and AP6, so no armor.
Okay. So you slash through the vac suit.
Yeah.
Like tearing a huge gash through it, and it like opens up, and you can see wearing fairly homespun kind of clothing, maybe some sort of leather jerkin style, hardened leather jacket type thing underneath, and not very high tech level, and you kind of cut clean through it all, like, and he's like, as blood comes out thick and fast.
It's appropriate that the blood's coming out all over Simon.
Absolutely. Still conscious, but like bleeding and.
So I get 2 goes, don't I?
Oh, because you're on combat drugs.
Yeah.
Go for it. Same again. Nice. Yeah. Right, let's have another damage roll then.
3D.
Okay,
No.
you get a free reaction every round.
Is it?
This gains a free reaction every round with no penalty applied.
Oh, it's not a free action, it's a free reaction.
And reduces all damage sustained by 2 points.
2 points. Right,
that's good.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, I thought it was but it's not, it's a free
lasts
reaction.
For 10 minutes. Okay, so it'll last the whole.
Okay, so no, I don't get to kill him again.
Okay, that's okay, but you can like parry twice.
Yeah,
which is
really
really useful with no penalty to your next actions.
Yeah. Yeah, because he would have got -2 because he dodged, wouldn't he?
Parp said, "You have slain the party of Gerzilian folk musicians." Okay, this guy is seriously bleeding, and there is now a look of fear and trepidation upon his face,
as opposed to that comedic bleeding some of the others are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I shall smile until my head.
And having just heard the Tannoy announcement, on his go, he's going to drop his sword and say, I surrender. I surrender. What are you doing? You hear shouts from behind. No, no. And then you hear a voice from the back shout out. And this is a different voice. This is a woman's voice. I'm willing to talk. Shout from the back. Marquis, you are just behind Jacob Parsons and you hear this as well.
If there's anyone who should be doing the talking, it should be the Marquis.
Absolutely. Anyone
100%.
Bring the temperature of the room down. It's the Marquis. Okay, if I can hear that, I will shout out. We come in peace. Parlay?
I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to talk. If everyone stands down.
Lay down your weapons and we can talk.
How about we just back up and put our guns away?
How about you just lay them down, but we won't come and get them. So they're just on the floor where we can see them.
You start to hear guns being put down in the room.
Okay.
And you notice at the back a figure stand up. This person looks different to the others, as in not wearing a breather mask, and not got the same kind of.
And I'll just call out.
That's like the end of your. But yeah, call out what you're going to call out.
I was just going to say, I was like, there's no need for more violence. It's okay. That's it.
Cool. Okay. Monty, you'll go.
Sorry, I realised that my mute was on there. So there's no one else on the bridge, is there?
No, there's dead bodies and not much else.
Cool. I mean, at that point, the last I heard, there was fighting down the other end. So I'm just going to double move the 6 spaces to be up by Jacob Parsons.
Okay. You can now see there's a bit of a standoff going on, and people have moved back. This Tannoy thing keeps looping and starting to get a bit annoying. But that's what you can see when you get there.
Cool. Yeah. So all Parsons will hear is his heavy metal feet come like stop. Comes into the doorway with him.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Get to the chopper.
Is it like a little visored helmet bit that can?
It's like it pops down,
Okay,
you know,
Cool.
and it's got like two lights. It's a bit Iron Man-y with the two slits of the
Cool.
eyes.
I like it. Okay, cool. So that's your go. Back round to the beginning then. Kona. Heard some shouting going on.
Right, well, until someone tells me to stop, my next action then is to
Space everyone on the ship.
no. I want them to think they're being spaced. So I'm sounding the depressurization alarm in the cargo bay
Okay.
and starting the pumps that would pull the air out so as to conserve it.
Okay.
The
The environmental
taking control of
effect
environmental.
of 9. Bloody
yeah.
hell.
So I've taken
Right.
environmental.
We are in the cargo bay.
Yeah, I know you're in the cargo bay, but you've got spacesuits.
Yeah. So
They've got breathers.
I'm not
anyone
wearing
in the
spacesuit.
cargo bay sees the
I'm wearing a
cargo
pirate-
crane
I'm
like
wearing a pirate
retract
uniform.
up into the ceiling, into its housing where it should sort of be. The yellow.
I'm not actually
See-
depressurizing the hold yet.
No, but you're doing the decontamination.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Spinny
red lights on the
Yeah,
wall.
well, they're those yellow industrial warning
Yeah.
lights,
little
flicking
hole.
around. Yep.
Attention,
Decontamination.
rebels. This is the Malankaya Akuya Corporation. We have taken control of this vessel. Depressurization of the cargo hold takes
We've
place
stopped
in
fighting.
30
We've stopped fighting. You hear a
seconds.
shout from the. You hear a shout from the room. Stop fighting. We stopped fighting.
Depressurization sequence paused. Then I'll go on comms to Rog. I think they might listen to you now, Captain.
Excellent. I think the Marquis has got this one.
Well, it's now your go, Anson.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, hearing all of the commotion, I'm going to kind of... Can you... Because I know you can move 3 squares. Can you run to move more, or...?
6. Yeah, you can double move. Yeah.
1, that's diagonal. What's in kind of the... So if I kind of keep going down this way, is there another
It's just
way?
It's just a stateroom.
All right, so I can just
Yeah.
see their staterooms.
Yeah.
Okay, then I will kind of stand.
Okay.
roughly
So you get
there-ish.
next to the marquee.
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob Parsons, the guy in front of you, has dropped his sword and like trying to step back away from you. The people in the room are standing up from behind crates. You can see another figure over here. Maybe able to see that figure. This guy, sorry, I should say, he's moved back to about there. He can move 3 squares or run 6. Where are you? You're running into the middle of the room.
Yes. I shall stand. I shall basically move to there.
Okay.
I shall stand with my arm on the hilt of my sword, and I shall say, I think that guy might need some medical attention. Marquis, and that's it. That's my whole turn.
Okay.
I've set up a defensive position so the Marquis won't get shot.
I'm just doing something. Okay, cool. So you're moving forward and saying this guy needs medical attention. Well, he's falling back and going, help me, help me, help me. So yeah, he concurs. Okay. Right, then it's their go. So you see this woman walk forward. The guy falls back. They sort of fall back behind some crates. Not hiding now, but in a rear sort of guarding position. And she steps forward. and she says, "Why are you the minions of these overlords who seek to control us from the sky?"
Marquis will step up. If she's talking to anybody, the Marquis will step up.
Yeah, she's talking to you, Marquis.
Okay, so he'll move into the room then, like just in front, and it's like, no, we're between overlords at the moment. We don't want anyone to get hurt anymore. But who are you? Why are you here? And why are there like dead people here? Like, what's going on? Like, what's the matter?
We want our freedom. These people came to spy on the starport, and we were making a move on it, and we thought it would be best to stow away and take them over. We're here. We want freedom. We're rebels. She clearly hasn't done this before.
Right, freedom. The other guy mentioned that too. Okay. How is this getting you freedom though? Because you're like here and really close to like that station.
This is a statement. This is a statement to those who wish to interfere with our world, to stay away.
Right. So, okay, I hear you. How can we resolve this peacefully? What can we do for you right here and now?
She looks slightly confused.
So does Marquis.
As if she really wasn't expecting someone to talk to her. We have the captain. We have the captain, and we will return the captain if these people swear they will never return to our world yes, and never come back.
Can I pipe up at that point, or are we still in combat rounds?
It's not combat rounds now.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to kind of walk forward. No, you will hand over the captain now to us.
I shall wiggle my sword.
I'm still walking, boarding shield up, like assault shotgun rested against it.
Well, we've stopped the fighting.
Hand over the captain now.
No, hey, Captain, just calm down.
Marquis, this isn't
escalating here.
Marquis, this isn't a negotiation. And I'll just look straight at her. Hand over the captain now.
Are you
decompressed yet?
Who are you allied with? Bralka Pass or the kingdom?
We are our own. We're not allied with anyone. However,
why are you here? Why do you care about these?
That's our business, but that ship's captain is not to be traded like some item. Hand him over now.
That's the only thing we have. If you kill me, if you kill me, they'll that pod she's in, they'll pull the plug, and one of you Simon, they'll know you're trying to sneak around the outside, and the guy there will be like, move across to like block you slightly. Like
if you don't hand him over, you'll all die. He's the only reason that you might live. If you hand him over, we won't kill you.
That's true. That's one thing else you have. Like, you have the captain and your lives, you know? If you hand him over...
Our lives mean nothing in the face of freedom.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
I mean, at that statement, Montgomery's not going to say anything, but he's going to start positioning himself between the Marquis and the captain and all the enemies that are standing directly in front of them. He's not doing anything. He's just walking.
I'm probably somewhere. But that one's the Marquis, isn't he? I was probably back stood near him.
Okay, yeah. So where I'm in the room there, I'm positioning myself to make sure that if they were to open fire, they'd hit me, not the Marquis or the captain.
I reckon I can get 4 of them with a stun grenade.
We'll let you live if you hand over the captain.
She's not your captain.
Irrelevant.
What? Why? I don't understand why you're here. What? No, we can't give her to you. She is our only bargaining chip with the. What did they say there? Sudenicans.
As she says that, just quietly over the internal comment, take them.
Can I patch through to I can't even remember his name. Yeah. Is there a pod?
There is. It's active. There's a low berth currently powered. It's going to need a professional to deactivate it.
Okay. Well,
if they screw with it, they may well kill the captain.
Okay.
However, let me try and lock it.
Kona, you get commed from the Pride of Sigyn.
Yeah.
Sitrep update.
Sitrep. We have the rebels. They appear to be Gerzilian rebels. They've taken the ship without knowing what they're doing. They're holding the captain hostage. What? We're currently negotiating for release of the captain.
The captain is hostage?
Yes.
I assume your captain had my previous order.
Captain is aware of standing orders.
They took the ship.
They took the ship.
Gerzilian rebels.
They have
People's
no
Army.
clue what they're doing. Yes, they appear to be People's Army. They don't know what they're doing. They've got the ship here through fluke and beating it out of other people. They've ruined the systems. They're trying to make a statement. Might I suggest that we offer them a seat at the table for the discussion about Gerzil in exchange for the release of the captain, upon which time they will stand down.
Can you patch me through to Anson?
Patching. Anson, call for you.
Just as you said, take them on the internal comms, a voice comes through. This is Captain Jindaroff. Anson, are you there?
Okay. As soon as she says that, I'm just going to then immediately say hold again over the squad comm.
Do what you can to get off with the captain. Clear the vessel. Leave them on board.
Alive?
We can deal with that.
They're currently disarmed.
Well, if you can get the captain without any more bloodshed, then fine, and we'll take them in our brig. But this is all starting to get a bit messy. How did Gerzilian rebels take over our ship?
We'll try and find that out.
Fine. Report back.
Captain, may I?
Go for it, Kona.
Over the Tannoy. Attention, rebels. This is about the worst revolutionary move ever. I'm sorry. You guys have really screwed this up. You're not making a statement. You're about to be obliterated. There is no way you walk out of this unless you walk out of this with us. We are your only hope to survive. We have standing orders to kill every living thing on the ship, including the captain, if need be, to prevent this kind of event from happening in future. If you wish to live and make your statement, the only way you are going to make it is if you come with us peacefully to the High Nexus station and make your case directly to all of the representatives of all of the nations. You are talking about a single planetary conflict against 5 interstellar powers, all of which are capable of reducing your entire planet to a lake of volcanic glass if they so choose. If you want to make a political statement, this is not the way, nor the time, nor the place. If you want to make your point, surrender now, come with us, or you and every living thing on this ship will be destroyed.
My screen has suddenly zoomed into Jacob Parsons for some reason.
I typed, I didn't mean to do that. And then it zoomed into me.
And you did a speech bubble. Yeah, you can actually talk on the screen. It's quite cool. There you can see them all kind of listening to the tannoy. And she's standing there. No.
Your message will go unheard. Unless you surrender to us now. If we take you off this ship onto ours, you may live.
She says, "No one alive," out loud. And the guy over here moves over to the cargo door controls.
Can we see that guy that's moving to the cargo controls?
You can. He hasn't done the action yet. It's just like,
then
as she shouts, "Do it."
We're shooting him if he's the
I
one.
mean,
that...
I was already
I
cocked
know.
and red locked.
Don't worry. We'll go back into initiative order in a moment. But basically, this guy darts into this room here at the back. This is
Do we know where the captain is? Do we? Or
you know where the low berth chamber is? It's down through the
that...
doorway on the right. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we know that the one guy's running towards the cargo doors, one guy's running towards where the captain is.
And she kind of screams, and the guy goes for the thing at the door, and we'll go back into a combat round, and Kona Carl is first.
Okay, I want to lock out the low berth room so he can't get back in.
Oh, so he can't come back into the chamber?
No, so he can't get into the low
you're going to try
room.
and do it as he's running through the doorway? Okay,
yeah, as he's heading for the door, I want to try and lock him out.
Okay, make a roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in the cargo bay hears a boom? Someone expecting a door to open, and it doesn't. As you kind of lock that out.
I have the captain.
Are you gonna do any move? Are you staying where you are, Conan?
I'm staying where I am. I can do a lot more good here.
Yeah. Anson, your go.
Okay, the guy moving towards the cargo doors.
Yep.
I don't want him to be there anymore. So I feel a red misting is in order. How does full auto work? And I want to do that with
make a number of attacks equal to your auto rating. What's your auto rating? So you make 2 attacks on the individual.
Do you get both at modifiers?
Let me.
Basically, whatever makes my life easiest to pulp the guy.
I think you both get them. I think you both get modifiers against both attacks.
I get a -2, a -1 on
I
each.
don't know. That's not what I've got written on my thing. I wrote auto into my thing, and it doesn't say. I don't remember saying anything about penalties. Your penalty is you use up a load of ammo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Yep. No, you don't. Penalties.
Is it just average?
Yeah, just an average roll. Just you can see him in the corner there, pulling on the emergency release. Oh dear.
I'm going to use one of my re-rolls on that. That was pretty dire.
That is pretty dire.
That's bad.
Oh, that's a hit, and he's got no reduction to your roll. So let's roll your damage. It's you got 2 attacks, haven't you?
Yeah. So that's my
roll the other one as well. See if they both hit, and then you can just roll all the damage together. Okay.
Same again.
Effect of 2. And what damage does your weapon do?
4d6. So
roll 8d6 plus 4. Oh, actually, do it twice. Sorry, do 4d6 plus 2 because I take armor off.
Okay, 17 for the first one.
Okay.
And 18 for the second one.
Okay, and AP 4?
No, I'm not using armor piercing ammo because I'm on a ship.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
So you have to specifically buy armor piercing ammo.
total up his physical stats and see. Why is it? 6 armor. Okay. So you turn and fire your shotgun at the emergency controls for the cargo hatch. Luckily, all of your rounds sort of hit him center mass in his back, and the front of his
like
body
a hero.
kind of the exit wound erupts across the control panel, and his body kind of hits it. The gore and blood kind of sticking him, holding him up for a little while. Do you want to do anything else with your minor action?
Is that like a move or?
Yeah, you can move with that.
Okay, in which case I will move to position myself. The door control's the one over to my left, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna move that
To
way,
try and sort of block it.
put myself in between.
Okay.
Yeah, that and them.
Cool.
But with I'm moving kind of sideways, so my boarding shield is facing the bad people.
Sure. Right. Jacob Parsons, what are you doing?
I shall step up to this person here,
Okay.
draw my stunner from behind my back and shoot her. And as I shoot her, I shall say, you don't have to die today.
What I was saying.
They chose poorly.
Yeah, but I'm so close to her that I can say it in a way that no one else really needs to hear it.
I was
Oh,
going
I'm
to
not
save
worried.
them all and put them in front of the council.
I don't think I'll hear a lot with a full auto shotgun.
No. Only your own heartbeat. Okay. Okay. So an effect of 7. Jeez, that's impressive. Now, bear with me 1 second. That's reduced by 2 because of her slightly more capable.
So, does that work? Will that work?
3d6 plus 5.
Yeah, 3d6 plus 5.
Yeah, is that 5 is from the effect, yeah?
That 5's from the effect, yeah, because it's only 3d6 for a stunner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, she goes down like a sack of potatoes.
Okay.
That's much more than her endurance, so she collapses onto the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Right, next it's their go. And this person gonna move here and shoot at Mr. Anson.
Does he have to pick up his gun, considering he dropped it?
Very good point. He won't move. He'll just pick up his gun and shoot you. Going to try and edge closer to the door controls, you see. But no, just going to shoot you.
Eek. Get him, Monty.
You can still move and do minor and major action, can't you?
Oh, I'm going to use a reroll on that one. I've got 2 of them, so. Oh my God! Critical failure.
Is that like a gun exploding or something?
It's a gun jam. It's a gun jamming. Yeah, you have to reload the gun. So it's like. You realise, Anson, that they're using Sudenican weapons.
What sort of weapons are they? Are they like
rifles? Just kind of rifles. They've got some old sporting. They look like
hunting rifles.
I mean, they're slug rifles, but they're fairly decent ones. You know, they do the job. Not everything has to be lasers. So that was that guy. This one is going to move up with his sword because he hadn't dropped his sword.
I have a gun that shoots teeth.
Going to move up and attack Jacob Parsons with sword. Are you going to use your free reaction to parry me?
Yes, please.
Okay. So that's going to make this
-4.
Very difficult. Oh, effect -4. That's going to be quite hard for me to actually past that, so I'm not going to use a reroll on
Yeah.
that.
You
Completely
need 12,
fluffed.
I think.
Completely fluffed the attack. And this person is going to run. Okay, so that's their turn. So next it's Smucky.
The one by the controls. I didn't catch what happened to them. Are they down?
Oh,
or
dead.
They're dead. Okay.
Dead. In fact, on your turn, the body slides down the wall.
What's left
okay.
of it?
I will then move towards the one that just ran up. And I will point and fire, yelling freedom as I do.
Okay, who are you shooting at?
The one that just ran up on the right side of the room.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Effective 1.
That's a hit.
And damage 9.
9 plus
So 10,
1 for
10,
the
10
effect,
total.
so 10 damage. He's got 6 armor. So that's 4 damage to his endurance. Okay. Next it's Monty. I just see him. Were you just cracking your knuckles there, Dan? No, you just muted. You were off mute. You now muted yourself.
Oh, God almighty. Yes, I was cracking my knuckles. I'm very tired at the moment.
Sorry. We're finishing soon. Don't worry.
It's fine. So, yeah, I'm going to use my minor action to take aim. So I get a +1 to my DM. And then I'm going to do full auto and I'm going to shoot 1 at the one the Marquis just shot.
I don't think you can do aim. Oh, no, you can. Sorry. It's a scope that you can't use. You
can't use scope and aim at the same time because they do essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shoot 1 at the one that Marquis just shot and the one on the other side who's gun jam. So basically the 2 guys are essentially pincering in right now.
They've got to be within 6 meters of each other.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to be within 6 inches. Okay, well, then I'm just going to unload into the guy that's
guy on the right.
Oh wait, there's a guy in combat with
Yes.
Jacob, isn't it? And he would be within 6 meters of the guy in the back.
3
left
squares.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh,
it's not.
Oh, so
It's
if you
outside.
shot the other 2, do you mean?
Yeah.
So you could shoot the 2 on the left. You could
Yeah.
shoot them.
Yeah. So
yeah, but if you critically fail, you'll definitely hit Jacob Parsons.
it's
Why
only
does
it's
everyone keep
only a
trying to
pirate.
screenshot
He's a pirate. It's no great loss to the world, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do full auto and do that.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah, I've got an extra modifier there. Let's do that one. So I'll just put my modifier in. Roll that first one. Oof. Affects him for the first one.
Nice.
I'll do the damage on that one because that's a separate guy first. Shotgun damage. 12 plus 7 at AP -4.
Oof,
So
12,
17.
19
minus 4.
-4. So 2 off of it for the armor.
Yeah.
So 17 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
On which one?
On the one fighting Parsons.
The one that he's slightly hurt, isn't he?
I don't know. No, did Parsons, is he the one that got hurt earlier?
I don't know. They all look the same.
Oh no.
No, I think Parsons tased the one right in the middle.
Yeah.
That's the leader.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm shooting the one that's actually fighting.
And the one,
I've taken it off the wrong person. So this person this one on the right should actually be dead.
Oh yeah, because that's the one he wounded earlier.
He took loads of damage earlier on.
I cut up early, isn't it?
Oh, so the Marquis killed someone. Go Marquis.
Yeah, Marquis. Sorry, Marquis. You took that guy out. I was looking at the wrong numbers. Sorry.
He's the one I sliced earlier.
And then that person.
And then the second shot.
Sorry. So it's. Yeah. Okay, that's a hit.
And that is 21 damage minus.
And that's on the other person.
That's on the other guy. So 21 minus. So it'd be 21 minus the 2 remaining armor. So it'd be 19 damage in total.
Yep. Oh man, they're both seriously injured. Seriously injured. So that's not... Okay, you're just like, and they're taking these shots, blood sort of flying all over Jacob, and yeah, you are. They're both seriously injured, but they're both still standing. And so we're back round to the beginning with Kona Carl.
Can I try and use the cargo crane to grab the woman?
Yeah, I love it. Why not? It might crush her if you fail. You do it, but you hurt her.
I'm assuming it's still computer operations.
Yeah, it's computer operations.
Okay, here we go then.
We say it's difficult.
Okay.
It's not quite.
It's
because you're not doing it by sight and stuff. So normally you'd be in the room.
Oof.
Double
six.
My God. Yeah. Okay.
India.
So
the scruff of the neck.
Comes down, and the four arms come underneath, just cradling her. You can lift her up, or you just
I'm going to lift her up a little bit, but hold her pinned, and then again repeat: stand down over the tannoy.
Okay. I think everyone's got the on right now. So, but yes, you repeat: stand down over the tannoy. Captain Anson.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then full auto again into the.
You're going to shoot both of them.
Yeah, one into each, basically.
How many rounds are in a combat shotgun? Just for reference.
24, I think.
Okay, right. Okay, so you can do a few.
Yeah, it's a drum magazine.
You lose like 6 with each full auto, so you can do 4 full autos. Okay, that's cool.
We're going to have some serious conversations about people shooting into my close combats.
I did move to get a much easier shot.
You're a pirate. You're used to close quarters.
I don't need the help, you know. I'm okay.
Okay, let's roll for the one on the left. That's a hit. A damage.
19.
Your blast hits the person, and they slide backwards across the floor, their limp body kind of folding around a crate as they slide into it. And for the other one, that's a hit. Roll damage. This person has a dexterity of 2 right now.
Oh, that's not very good.
So they're not going to try and dodge you because they'd give you a bonus. And Jacob Parsons, you're just ready to engage in combat with this other person when suddenly it's like come from one side and then it's come from the other, and you're like standing in a little combat shotgun crossfire. But your hat is perfectly positioned. Not even.
The rest of you is drenched in pureed rebel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So no more combat.
I shall turn to the Marquis and say, well, we managed to save one of them.
Attention, Captain Genderov, Pride of Sigyn.
This is Captain
Genderov.
Genderov.
On behalf of the crew of Captain Anson, we have taken the ship. The captain is alive.
Excellent.
And in low berth, we have 1 prisoner.
Excellent. I'll take the prisoner.
Tell him about the prisoner. What did you tell him about the prisoner?
The ship is secure.
Okay.
Got 2.
Yeah, the guy on the bridge, he's not dead. He's just unconscious.
Oh, he's unconscious.
I didn't finish him off.
He's
Left
unconscious.
him alive because I thought we might
there
need
you
a
go.
prisoner.
We have
One
one
prisoner.
prisoner.
That's
So what are you
fine then.
doing? Are you
didn't
doing anything
realise.
else before? Because it's gonna take like a day for the Pride of Sigyn to get there. So I assume you're gonna.
Can we do any repairs and start flying the ship back towards High Nexus ourselves?
You can, and we'll.
And
can-
we'll remove any firearms that we don't want anyone to have.
Okay.
Can we secure the woman in
All
one
the
of our
male
staterooms?
rebels. All
Well,
the
we can-
male
we just
rebels
put-
are
yeah.
identical.
Do they look like any of the clones we saw on Tothan?
No.
Mhm. Does the
Oh.
woman look familiar at all?
No.
I'm
Phew.
gonna take a picture of one of the male rebels.
Okay.
Not one, all.
They all look the same to me.
Their
Take a
hair's
picture of
different. They've
all
got
of them.
tattoos, different tattoos, different piercings.
I'm basically taking
But
a
the
picture of one with an
faces
intact
are
face
the same.
because I'm going to show it to Karen when we get back on board.
You do have one that's still alive, obviously, but you're about to hand him over.
Are we handing over that one or the other
No,
one?
we're handing him over. We're keeping her.
Oh, okay.
Captain, look, we keep the woman. If we hand her over to Pride of Sigyn, she's dead. Should be swept under the rug. Bigger picture here.
There is someone in a low berth as well.
Yeah, the captain in the low berth. I say we keep in the low berth. We don't want the responsibility if something goes wrong.
No, that needs a
we try and
medical
wake him up.
professional
Also,
to
did
awaken them.
Kona Carl say that over the open comm or just
No,
in the
not
No,
over the
no.
open comm.
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so you're gonna loot the ship?
Yeah, what's
Does
in
the
the well?
butler do a
We'll,
valet service? Can we
It's
just get blood out?
we'll see what's in the cargo hold. I mean,
They've got
if
an auto valet in one of the in one of the rooms that you
Okay,
could
well,
pull
I'll
out
get
of the
mine.
wall and
This is
take with
someone
you.
else's
I'll get my
ship.
no, it's got
no,
the
It's
ship
not
has
cleaning-
got
salvage.
it's
I'm
not got
cleaning the
lots.
blood off of my.
Yeah, you
my
can like
pirate.
so you all turn around and Jacob Parsons is in his underwear and there's an auto valet plugged into the captain's quarters cleaning his clothes.
yeah. We're
That's
not
fine.
looting stuff physically out
Well,
of the ship. We want to
no,
see if there's something that they wouldn't perhaps notice.
It doesn't look like this ship has been salvaging or scavenging anything or taking anything. It looks like they've got food and medical supplies in the cargo bay. Not a lot, enough to keep them going for like 20 weeks ship operation.
Is there like ammunition on board?
There's some ammunition for weapons. Yep. Bullets.
We'll basically remove any arms and ammunition
Okay.
from the vessel.
Okay. So
And
you take the rifles.
If there's any intact vac suits, we'll probably take them because they're useful.
There are a bunch of intact vac suits. There are.
If there's anything that medical.
There are 7
supplies,
intact vac suits. All the other ones are riddled with shotgun holes.
I can't imagine how that happened.
Marquis,
Yeah.
can you keep our guest on the ship's boat?
Okay.
No running away, no escaping, no weapons. Just keep an eye on her. I don't want to see any harm come to her from anybody, and I trust you not to hurt her, but also not to
you were the
let
one
her
that was
escape.
threatening violence, not me. I was actually being cool, but yeah.
I was threatening secondhand violence. I was warning them that violence was coming.
Well, you were right.
I kind of was hoping it wouldn't be from us.
Kona, can we give them a sedative? Because there's
Yes.
medical supplies on board. We can
Absolutely.
sedate them. I would rather they stayed unconscious.
We can sedate them, and if the Marquis is still okay keeping an eye, so much
Yeah.
the better.
But we're only taking the one, right? Like we're
Yeah, just
taking
the
her.
woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll sedate them both, just because it's
Well,
much
you
much
could
easier
take-
for them to
You
keep them
could
under
take
control.
you could just take both and then just say that the prisoner died of injuries.
No, we want to give
No.
them a
Probably.
prisoner.
Yeah.
Do we? Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
plus
So
but-
how are you
just-
going to
already
give them a
said-
prisoner?
Kona already
Are you
said
going to
it.
leave the prisoner on
On
this
board.
ship so they can come and get them?
Yeah, I think so.
We're going to sedate them, so
Right.
they're going
Strap
to be
him to a
out
chair.
and tie them
Okay.
down.
So we can cover off any kind of ancillary details in our Discord chat later, but I think I'll probably bring the episode to a close. So you get in your ship's boat. There's Pride of Sigyn arrives, and as there is only one airlock, they ask you to
Depart so they can get in.
depart
Okay.
so that they can go in and dock.
We'll have done as many repairs as we can in the day it takes them to get there,
Yeah.
so that it's at least got maneuverability, so that they can
Sure.
either dock with it or maneuver it into an airlock or what have you.
Yeah, a few of us are pretty good with that kind of thing. I've got mechanics, electronics, and engineering.
Mhm.
So
That's fine. That's fine. You make the ship, you patch the ship up a bit, the power's back on, the M drive is back on. So it's serviceable and it can move. And they dock with it, and they communicate with you and say, thank you very much for your service. We very much appreciate what you've done for Studenica this day. Fortunate though it was that you had to rely on force. I know these things are sometimes necessary. We've taken the prisoner on board, and we have collected the bodies of the dead, and we shall deal with them.
Yeah, we had to use force in order to keep the captain alive.
Scan might be it.
Of course.
I wasn't going to let a captain of the Navy fall in with these scum.
We do question how this has come to pass, that these Gazillion terrorists have taken over one of our vessels and subdued our captain. But we shall talk to our captain and talk to our captive, hopefully get to the bottom of this situation. I do hope that you will maintain certain air of secrecy around this operation and not share what has happened here until we have cleared the situation with the Traveller Aid Society Lounge back on board High Nexus and arranged for docking for this ship, and we get back and seal off this whole unfortunate affair of Gürtel. And as you start heading back to High Nexus at high thrust, you see the Pride of Sigyn kind of undock with the ship, and they've obviously transferred some crew because the ship starts to move. And you get notified that you are having a transfer of 20,000 credits to your account from the Sudenican sort of digital bank that they have operating here. And we shall leave our episode there. So you were all successful. No one was hurt. And you can all see that Traveller is pretty harsh as far as combat is concerned, and if you're on the wrong end of a combat shotgun, you're in trouble. Okay, right. Thank you very much for joining us in the chat. There's been a lot of people chatting away. It's been very cool. Sorry we had a couple of breaks along the way. Join us tomorrow for Spire. Ben, I don't know if you want to give a little plug.
Yes, episode 3 of Bedlam Hill is going to be tomorrow, when my elite squad of super specialized drow revolutionaries are going to try and take down a mental hospital where people are doing horrible things to people. If they're smart, they might put it off for a session or two and maybe gather a bit more information, but we'll see.
Cool. And Jeff, what's going on with the lollygaggers?
Tomorrow, but North American time, 8 Central. We're doing Delta Green. So we're in our second session of that. And then on Monday, we're over on the Free League Publishing channel playing Things from the Flood. So a couple games coming up in the next few days.
And Delta Green is people, right?
Yeah, Delta Green is, it's like Call of Cthulhu, but modern day, sort of. It's like your special agents, things like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I got
Thanks.
It.
And
I get it now.
It's people, I tell you, it's people. Thanks for joining us, Jeff. It's great to have our North American friends over on Garblag Games. Cool. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you to my players. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Millie, for producing and pulling awesome faces at us as we do stuff in the game. Thank you to our patrons who are helping me in the background to build this world and all these shenanigans going on. There will no doubt, following this incident, be lots of conversations on our Discord between our patrons. So all of our patrons, no matter what tier you're at, get to join in the faction turn world building stuff we're doing for Traveller, which has been loads of fun. And thank you to everyone who's doing that. We're going to be doing that for more of our games in the future. Matt and Ben are talking about
Spectaculars.
Spectaculars, superhero game, which looks fantastic and has as part of it a whole world building kind of part. So we're going to be doing something around that with patrons. I know Millie's wanting to do something later on with the 10 nations, potentially, maybe something else. So there's this is going to be going on, and we've got loads of other things coming from the Patreon, including the Gar blog, which Ben sent me and we'll be putting up at the weekend, and the 4 Gar Blags of the Gar Apocalypse, which will be coming out in the next couple of weeks as our first monthly patron podcast. And Matt will be conducting the first game with a Gar Blag very soon, as some of our top tier patrons get to actually play games with us off camera, away, some of the games that we offer up. So thank you very much. Also, starting next Wednesday, we have a new show. Roger, do you wanna talk about the new show?
Yeah, so next week we are on next Wednesday at 8 p.m. GMT. We will be starting. Will it be GMT at that point? We'll be on British Summertime.
We'll be on BST, yeah.
BST. Yep.
BST, so that's GMT +1, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We will be starting a new Warhammer Fantasy roleplay show called Once Upon a Time in the Old World, where I know some of you have been keen to see an elf. You will finally get to see an elf play a character in a Warhammer Fantasy roleplay show here on Garblag Games. That will be Dan, as you can probably guess from his enthusiastic waving. And we will be starting in, I believe, Ubersreich, or on the way to Jim, who is GMing it. You remember the wonderful Goust, so that's going to be good. We'll be no doubt dropping more details. So tune in next Wednesday for episode 1.
So we'll be having
Pete, what are you doing
Warhammer
on
Wednesdays.
Saturday?
Oh, on Saturday? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, well, we did last thing, so...
Okay, so on Saturday, the 4 Garblags will be playing a game of Alien for GaryCon at 5 p.m. GMT. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ish, somewhere around there. Matt's a bit confused about times. And I believe we're all Colonial Marines, aren't we?
I think we might be some kind of space soldier-based characters, yeah.
Yeah. And we're all going to die horribly, and it's going to be glorious. Matt's running that, so I get to play Alien. It's going to be so good.
Can we give Matt rerolls?
I'm not sure on that channel. We'll share the channel details on our Discord a bit later, unless someone's done it already in the chat. Anyway, it's getting very late for some of our players, so thank you very much, everybody. We have been Garblag Games. Please stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow for Spire at 8 p.m. GMT. Bye.